So I wanted to take a minute to talk through one of my projects that I did my first year. This is literally the first project I did with students when I started teaching shop class. And I called it the Omnibox. And I was really excited for it. I thought that it would be a great introduction to woodworking and shop processes. And so the idea was to have a project that allowed students to look at really multiple materials, multiple tools, multiple machines, different processes, and so by the time they were done with this project, they would have seen a lot of the things in the shop and would be willing and ready to go into kind of our next project. So to give you an overview of what this was, it was a box to hold the material. It has a redwood front, it has pine sides, it has an MDF back, it has a plywood bottom, and it has this little insert here. And we used different materials. We used different machines. We used a table saw. We used a bandsaw. We used a hand saw. We used the router to route in these dados for the slot. We used the nail gun for joinery. We used screws. We used glue. We used dowels. We obviously used a vinyl machine. They put their own name here. We even used a CNC router to CNC route this handle and then attach that with glue and dowels. And so uh, at the end of it, they had these boxes. And then at the end of the year, almost every box ended up in the dumpster. And so I would consider it at this point a failure. It was a good idea, but there's a couple of things that kind of stand out with this now that I look back on it that really made it a project that didn't work and what I try to avoid moving forward. Um, so first and foremost is it was designed this way, but it's just unnecessarily complicated. So that whole starting point of we're going to do one thing that goes through all of the different machines, it was just a lot for students to process. Um, they couldn't see the end result quick enough, and so they get lost in what it meant to use the table saw or the miter saw or to use a drill or to use dowels. And so because of the nature of it being so complicated, a lot of students were just lost. And some of the reasons for that were it took a long time. It took us almost a month to build this. And so there was a lot of time working on the Omnibox. And because there was a lot of time working on the Omnibox, students who were absent had a hard time catching up. So they would miss the step where we did the MDF back. I'd have to get that back out and explain it to them, and then they could get caught back up. So there was no way to kind of circumvent a step. They had to go through every step. And so if they missed a day, it was hard for them and hard for me to get it back up. The other thing that really didn't work well in hindsight was it's not personalized. So they got to put their name on it with vinyl at the end. But it was really top down for me of it has to be this design, this materials, this joinery, these dimensions. And there was no freedom for students to really think or make it their own. And so I wanted to make sure down the road that when we do projects, there is some leeway for them to have their say in what the project looks like. And then the last part of it is it just doesn't look good. It's kind of ugly. And so it's not something that you want to walk around the hallway with or bring home and show your parents. And so that's a huge part of shop class is being able to bring something home, put in your room, put on a shelf that you're proud of that looks good. And so what I've pivoted to kind of moving forward is we do the same idea. We start with a shop box, but now we make it out of cardboard. And we can do this in about a week. We can do it with different tools, but we can really get at the same idea of measurement and fabrication and precision, really with the material that it doesn't matter. At the end of the year, we just recycle this. So we didn't use all the materials in the Omnibox, and it was really expensive. And it gets students up and building. They can get something done and completed. They can still personalize it. We've moved on to the laser engraver, but it still has the idea to be personalized. They can put their name or a picture, whatever they want. And it doesn't look as bad because it's found material. It's not intended to look really good. It's not fine wood. So it gets at a lot of the things that struggled with the Omnibox. If a kid misses a day, I can catch them back up. It doesn't take too long. We could do it in a week easily. It's not unnecessarily complicated, and it's something that they are comfortable with and familiar with. So when designing projects, I try to avoid the lessons I learned on the Omnibox and really lean more towards our cardboard box. Keep things simple for kids, keep them manageable, don't make it unnecessarily complicated, and give them lots of chances to build. And so I think that's the key part. The more chances they get to build something from start to finish, the better off they're going to be in the end.